I'm Angelyn Harrell, co-owner of Next Chapter Social, and this is my business bestie.
Brooklyn Calloway.
We are doing a little series ourselves about what is working in our business. Now, the interesting thing about our agency is that on Brooklyn's side of it, she works with content creators, influencers who share a lot of fashion and home and lifestyle brands for affiliate commissions. On my side of the table, I work with business owners and personal brands who aren't selling something through their content, but they're branding and driving business to their place business, whether it's a brick and mortar or a service business. Our objectives are just completely different. What we want out of social media. Mine is more of a true marketing tool, whereas Brooklyn's is a lever where we pull for sales. So it's a little different game. And I wanted to share something that I'm seeing across Instagram specifically, but it's universal to what's happening in social media. It is a trend that is, I think it's going to be more than a trend. It's like a trend on steroids. I think it's changing the way social media is consumed. And that really is the art of episodic content. It's series. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how this shift that's happening in social media can apply to businesses. Now, I wish I had for you a lot of data to say this is what we're implementing and this is the results that we're seeing for our brands, but the truth is it's still new. I'm just now learning a lot of this myself, and I have ideas upon ideas about how we're going to implement this with some of my clients. But I didn't want to wait to get this kind of data to share this with our audience because it's important. And I'm going to share with you some examples, what it looks like, and then how I'm going to implement it, my thoughts for, so that you can do these things in your business as well. And then, of course, if you feel overwhelmed and you don't want to do it yourself, that's what we're here for. But let's talk about I'm going to talk about Instagram, but please know that applies for Facebook and TikTok and LinkedIn as well. But this is what's happening on Instagram is that they're about to make a change. Okay, they're testing it with some creators already. And that is that they're going to allow this series feature. Okay, it's coming. Hopefully it's going to roll out to everyone very soon. But what it's going to do is allow us to somehow, maybe this is what's going to replace highlights. I'm not sure, but I know somehow we're going to be able to link content regardless of where it is in the reel. That's almost like binge-worthy. So we're going to think of our Instagram account as like a Netflix account where you're going to be able to watch a show, several episodes of one show. So until this rolls out to everyone, at some point, we can start creating content that's going to fit into this mold now because everyone is doing this series style content even without the infrastructure. Okay. I think TikTok already has it done better, but let's talk about how we can be implementing this. So there's a couple of things that are really important to think about. First of all, let's think about your page as being a Food Network channel. Okay. Food Network has different shows that all tie back to food, but they create content for the people that want to tune in every week to watch the thing. So, what you want to be careful of is that this change that's happening doesn't give you permission to now be Food Network and the Travel Channel and the Murder Mystery Channel. Don't screw up your algorithm because you still have to be niche. You still have to think of your umbrella content as king, okay? But you can get into your pillars a little bit as a channel, okay? It's so interesting, but it will be a recipe for disaster if you start talking about fitness and motherhood and business, unless there is a tie through of doing these things as a woman and as a specific, like if you had a niche like a woman dealing with a disability and trying to live life in these things. Okay, so it has to have this really important tie through that your main umbrella content is this woman with a disability living life, and then here's how she lives life.
Is that kind of what you say? I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you
No,
say
please.
some of your clients will be like, "Oh, I want to do this trend and I want to do
Yeah,
that trend." You're like, "We can do the trends as long as the trend is still utilizing the same message. We can't just try a
100%.
trend."
Yeah, if you do these one-off things, and I'll even use a personal example of my own, is that okay, so on my personal branded page, and I'm not a business, but on my personal content, I speak a lot about beauty and perfume. I did some posts about our trip to Paris that was just our vacation pictures, and it screwed up my algorithm because I kind of went off, right? So you have to be very thoughtful. Now, here's how you can kind of keep it on track a little bit. So let's say, for example, like one of my clients who is a corporate communications coach. She loves to talk about her family. But when she talks about her family, she uses examples of conversations with her kids. And that's what she teaches on is conversations and how to have the right conversations. So she could do a series of how I apply my corporate communication styles into motherhood, and she could create practical examples of those. People would definitely be glued to that because they want to learn how to speak better to their kids, right? Not just their coworkers. But the thing I like about this is that if she created a series about it, it's a storytelling and it's a repeatable thing. Okay. Okay. So here's the big thing and take notes. Okay. So this is creating episodic content in one of four ways. All right. So the first one is storytelling. So you want to tell a story over multiple episodes. And don't worry, I'm going to share a few examples of all of these so you can see what it looks like. And then we'll include those links down in our notes below. But storytelling over multiple episodes. So look at the content that you've already shared that has really resonated with people. How can you expand on that and make it a series? I will tell you, so this is the one example that I do have some data on our cardiologist client. When we started, instead of just always teaching and educating about healthy heart stuff, when we started telling real life, we call them case studies, stories of him dealing with a client. They came in with this was a symptom, this is what happened, this is what we did, this is the outcome. When we started telling those stories, his content exploded. People were so interested in the real time events. He would tell me that even out and about, like when he was seeing colleagues and things, they would reference, oh, I saw that case you did on so and so, not their name, but so very interesting. And when I say exploded, we were a brand new account, right? So we had only had a few hundred followers, and now he's well over 6,000 followers on just one channel. We've done that in multiple channels, but just one channel. We have over 6,000 followers. We were getting 50 to 60,000 views on that type of content. So we have real data. I'll show you an example. Okay, so let's talk. That's number one, storytelling. You could take one story and tell it through multiple posts. Okay, that's what I mean by storytelling, episodic content. Number two, this is slightly different. This is a come along with me journey. Okay, so even if you start in the middle of a story, you go back if you've had content where you can bring people up to where you are now, and then they're still going to come with you. You can tell the story even if you're a little bit ahead of it in real life, but you're telling the story on Instagram like it's happening in real time. It's that come with me journey that is the hottest trend right now in personal brands. So how can we apply that to a business brand? So I was thinking about even about us and Next Chapter Social and what we have been building from day one when we opened our doors 4 years ago. We have said we're going to be $1 million brand. This would be a fun series. We're halfway there. So we're on that, we're trending that way that we're doing amazing. And so what if we did a series of our path to $1 million brand? Those are the kinds of things that where we could talk about a come with me journey. Okay, so that's number two. Number three is a tutorial. So you could teach something over several episodes. So we see a lot of this with a cooking type thing. We're teaching it. It's recipe ideas for busy weeknight meals from Trader Joe's, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
need
that.
that.
I have one in my DMs right now, right? The
You're
dinner.
speaking
Yeah.
my language.
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what comes to my mind is tutorials about teaching something, but that is very relevant to a lot of our business brands or personal brands is what could you be teaching? We're starting one with Heather, the communications coach that I was telling you about, where we say this, not that. That type of a tutorial where you're actually educating. And then the fourth one is a repeatable content that has individual stories. So I always think about this as what is that? CSI or SVU or where Law and Order, you don't have to see episodes 1 through 10 to understand episode 11. Each episode of those kinds of shows is a standalone, right? They each have a beginning, middle, and an end as a standalone story. So, but they're repeatable. So you kind of know the formula. So if you created a formula type that people are looking for in your content, that's the fourth way to create this kind of episodic content. Deep breath, it's exciting. And
Yes.
it's a new way to think about content. It's no longer just creating one-off posts in your pillars. It's now creating those through lines. Okay.
I want to say something to that. I was on the treadmill the other day and I was literally wanting to be multitasking like we all do as females. I don't know about you males out there. I think y'all do one at a time. But I was on the treadmill. I was looking for stuff about Instagram specifically.
Mhm.
And what I found was Modern Millie. Again, I always go back to
Yes. Oh,
her.
we loved her. Yes.
Yes. And it's a specific, it was Instagram stories. I was thinking about this comment shop thing that we do on my side. And I binge watched all these episodes
Hmm.
about link stickers and stories and
Hmm.
shop and all of that because that was the specific topic I was looking for. When
Yeah.
people are really interested in whatever it is your topic is about, I want to watch the other things and I hope I'm not getting ahead. But I often go to the profile to see if the reel that I just watched is old. I hope it is, so I can see the other two after.
That's
And
right. So
so it
now,
pushes me to their profile to
right.
follow them and turn on notifications because damn it, it was that day's post. And I'm like, oh, I gotta wait to see the
Yes.
renovation. What kind of crap is
Yes.
this?
So it's creating that relationship with somebody. I know exactly what you mean. And now I think with the algorithms and the way that Instagram is changing things, I wonder, I'm hoping that when you like one in the series, that it's going to now, if you've liked it or what, however you interacted, that's going to automatically show you the second one as it comes up. But either way, you'll be able to go to someone's profile and actually binge it. And I don't know how logistically it's going to work, but I know it's coming. But even if it's not there yet, y'all, you can create like a cover photo, and I'll show you an example of to help people find it. Let's dive on in. But you're exactly right. If you have the keywords to get them started, then they'll be hooked in. Okay. This is Dr. Croc. I just wanted to show you. I'm not going to we'll watch the whole thing, but this one right here. 90% widowmaker blockage opened without a bypass. 64,000 views. And that was him showing just real quickly.
This is a case
See,
we did yesterday, and this is
See, so he's actually showing the EKG and talking about a real life case. That was huge. And that did equally well on all four platforms. So that was a story. That's a series that we've been trying to build. Okay, let's go on. All right. This one is a one of the number two when I was explaining the Come Along With Me series. Now, this is perfect for renovation stuff. Obviously, it's a natural fit for this, but let's just look at this real quick because this is 2.3 million views on this one.
passwords. See on the inside? It's gonna be a process.
Wow. We can't hear what's ever going on here, but I'll tell you what, I don't care.
I
It's a
know. Okay, it's just music. It's just music, but okay, good. I'm glad you can't hear. But I want you to see that I want to turn it off, but I know y'all would be mad at me if I turned it off because once you can't not watch this. But what I find so interesting is this is 2 years ago that they started this. So they were creating content I'm assuming they may have been posting it all along. But when she went back and took this content and repurposed it to tell an episodic series, now she's 2.3 million. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Incredible. Incredible. So this is a natural example of a come along with me journey, even if it's, it can be a day one. I'm doing this. This is day one. Come with me forward, or you can go backwards and recap. Okay. So, how could you use this as a business? Okay. So, I'm thinking along the lines of with my hormone doctor. If could we tell a story about like how she's fixing her hormone problems, things like that. I want to plant ideas today, not solve all the problems for you, but this is another great. Okay, so this is a good example of one where she has created with her cover photos, you know exactly where to start. Day one, European garden. Day two, European garden. Day three, brilliant. Okay, so you know exactly where to start. Now, I will probably spare you this because it'll get hooked. You'll get hooked in again, just like the other. This is Perkinson Parkway, but she invited her Swedish mother-in-law or Nordic mother-in-law to come over from Europe to help her build a European garden in her backyard. 1.3 million views. Incredible, so engaging, such great storytelling, and that true episodic content. Okay, great example. But I love how she has those cover photos, right? Okay, let's go on. Some of these I will. Okay, now this is, oh, this sweet girl. This one hooked me in so hard because it's a dog story. 4 million views. Now this
What?
24 million views. I'm gonna play this one. And I want you to see how it starts here, but then it's the same story. She's telling the story through multiple episodes. Okay. So this is I don't know, she didn't start at the end. She started today. This is what happened today. And then she's telling the story. But I'll play this first one for you. Let's see if you can hear it.
A visitor?
We can hear it.
I don't know whose stop this is. Hello? Way to work this morning. Baby, come here. Who are you? Who do you belong to? Oh, okay, hello, baby. No, and guess what? You're gonna come into the nature center, my baby. Oh, you're so sweet. Where's your mommy? I don't know where you came from. Oh, my love one. Where's your mother? We have a visitor? I don't know whose stop this is. Hello? These tiny little spike balls, gosh, they're so annoying. She knows that I'm trying to help her, so she's like grieving herself.
She's trying to do it herself.
Isn't that so sweet? Oh my gosh.
This is watching. We think it's like you need to come in nature center. What hands, huh? You got it, wow. Is it? You're just gonna get it again. Good girl. Hold on, good on. Hold on. There you go, good job. Just spinning my out. She's so sweet. Like she usually is someone's dog that's gonna make me cry. I got you, baby. I don't really see any fleas on you.
This is the best story. 24 million people invested in this story. And I'll give you the spoiler alert. She takes her to the vet. She does get to keep the dog. But she's telling the story over 5 or 6 posts. And she talks about how many followers she's gained and how she's just overwhelmed with it and how this dog has really healed her. Precious story. What are the opportunities? She didn't know that this was going to be her story. But it is, right? So it's like creating content about everything. So that's a great one, but a really good example of multiple posts to tell one story. Now we know Meg's Tea Room, right? We love Meg's Tea Room. We've used her before, but this is what is interesting. And I thought, okay, she's clearly not done with this, but this is something interesting even for you, Brooke, because this one here, 126,000 views.
The UK, the bags are packed.
And she's talking about product.
Cozy essentials that I will always bring with me on every single trip. Meg, but you may know me better as Meg's Tea Room. And my goal this year is to take that cozy feeling that I get in the tea room and bring it more into my actual life. Consider this your official welcome to the first day of my Cozy to Go series. By the end of this year, I will have traveled 200 days. I like to keep cozy while I'm on the road. So this series is all about showing you how I do that. All right, 5 cozy essentials. Here we go. Number 1, it does not matter if I'm traveling by car, by plane.
Okay, so doesn't matter what she's going to say, but the truth is she's now linking products in her series. Brilliant. So that's
And
okay.
she's called Meg's Tea Room because I did not know about her. And maybe I did, and I just forgot, which is probably
we used to use her examples in our social club stuff.
Oh, duh. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now this one is weird, but her hook is really, her whole thing is how to spend, let's see, series How I Spend Money After My Husband Up and Died, Left Me in Charge, Building the Widowhood Map We All Need. So this is just interesting. I want you to look and see how she, again, telling a story.
My money on because my husband up and died and left me in charge. Here's context. My husband Larry died in 2018. He was incredibly responsible. Basic truck with roll down windows, fabric seats, when we could have had a really nice truck. He was always saving, always planning for retirement, and it was always about the someday Larry. And then we never made it to someday. When he died, I became the one holding the checkbook, and turns out without him to run things past, without having to ask permission, I spend rather quickly. Well, on some things. So here's an example. Over the past year, I've had 3 phases of the yard completely demoed and re-landscaped because I can. And every time I sit up here and enjoy what I have created, I laugh because people would be like, oh, Larry would have loved this. I'm like, I would never have this if Larry were still alive. And so come back tomorrow. I'm going to show you my favorite thing that I know he never would have spent money on. And I'm in it every single day.
Okay, how compelling is that?
First of all, it's a little bit because I'm like, are you glad he's gone?
I know. That's what I'm like.
Poor
It's
Larry.
interesting. It's an interesting concept, but it's effective, right? So, and I think when you watch a few more, you realize that's not really the case at all. She's just learning how she gets to do things now. Anyway, it's very interesting.
What's her name again?
I will put it in the show notes, but Heather Quisel, Quisel. But interesting. So
Okay.
I hope that gives you some ideas. If you are a business owner or a personal brand, again, while we're all figuring this out, it's what are your opportunities? So again, I want you as my business partner to be thinking about it. What could we do for us? What could you do for your clients? How could we incorporate this into all of our brands and clients? It's exciting. I love this direction. I think it's fresh. I think it's fun. It gives us, even though we have a little bit of burnout on social media, this is a new, fresh take on things. So that is my challenge to all of you is go out and find your episode and work it.
Great. I think we will.
Thanks.